there, I just want to let you know that this is one of my oh so late spoiler movie reviews. It was recorded quite a while ago, so please keep in mind that my opinions about this movie are first impressions only, freshly expressed right after watching the film for the first time. If you want access to my full reaction to this movie, feel free to join my membership club. Details about it are in the description box below. Now, back to my spoiler review.
Where does that go? Oh gosh. Okay, I'm gonna have to watch some breakdown videos on this. Because it's, okay, yeah, the show, right? So she's gonna now end up on the Hawkeye show? Because I know it's out. Okay. That's a wrap on this movie, and I'm going to share my thoughts in a very informal way in just a moment. Bear with me here. Okay, so I had to kind of cut things and reposition myself to start my review here. Okay, so when it comes to this movie, it's weird because it's so after the fact, like not just after the fact in terms of the timeline of this story, but also, it's been months since this movie came out in the theaters and has been available on Disney Plus for members like myself who get access to it for free now, right? I don't have to pay that $30 or whatever they were charging when it first came out. And so I never really went about watching or reading non-spoiler stuff about it. I kind of forgot about the movie, to be honest. I kind of forgot about it. So I'm telling you all this so you understand that the premise that I'm under right now is of a lot of ignorance in terms of what's happened since the movie came out. So I'm just going to try my best to kind of streamline my thoughts about it, specifically related to what I just watched in the last 2 hours and change. So let's start with the stuff that I didn't like about the movie. Then I'll move on to the things that were a bit confusing, if there's any that pops to mind. There's one in particular. And then I'll end off with at least 3 things that I really enjoyed with this film. Okay? So, what I didn't like about the movie is the choice they made for the timeline. Because I know that Natasha dies, I really would have preferred that they chose a timeline that didn't lead up to Avengers Infinity War. Like, basically make a movie of what happened in Budapest. Budapest, okay? Because in the Avengers movies, Natasha and Hawkeye have this relationship based on their experience in Budapest. And so I think it would have been more engaging for MCU fans and for non-MCU fans to kind of flesh out what happened. And perhaps this movie could have been a sequel if the Black Widow movie was very successful. You know what I'm saying? And it would have tied in more emotionally with what happens in Endgame to Natasha. So that's my main gripe, is that I feel the story they chose to tell for likely the last time when it comes to Black Widow, right? I think it was a weak story. Okay? Next thing I didn't appreciate. I didn't appreciate that moment with Melina. That just blew my mind because, first of all, it's a Marvel Disney movie, and you're showing this grown-ass woman stop the breathing of a pig. Was like, oh, he could have stopped breathing for another 11 seconds. And then you want me as an audience member to be sympathetic to her because she helped him along the way anyway? No. All sympathies went out the window with that. And I just like, why did they write that in? They could have simply made it where she was perhaps farming. I'd rather they show something else. Just something else that does not dehumanize this person on top of what they've already told about her, right? Of God knows what she's done to all those women. And yet we're supposed to be like, it's okay. That's Natasha's mama. Yay. And yeah, no. That doesn't work for me. I mean, Rachel Weisz is an actress. She's awesome. She's cool. But yeah, that didn't work for me. So that's definitely a thumbs down. Thumbs down for sure. Now I'm going to move into the confusing territory, and I'm sure I'm missing other stuff, but keep in mind I just freshly watched this movie, and if you've been watching reactions from me, you know I don't pick up on everything all at once. So the next thing that's a bit confusing for me is the messaging versus what they actually did. So what I mean by that, it's revealed that it was Antonia who was I don't even know the character. What's the character she was playing? Anyways, the character that she was playing moved like a man, fight like a man that I'm used to, okay? That I'm used to seeing in action movies that I've watched all my life, but yet they show it to be a woman. Now, don't get me wrong. Perhaps the way she was trained, right, is with masculine, I don't know, masculine styles. I don't know. The point is, I'm not convinced it was the actress herself doing all those moves. It wouldn't be surprising to me if it was a man they got to do the moves with the mask, and then perhaps, when they need to show it's a woman, they take off the mask. And then maybe in the story, like, to be fair, I'm trying to be fair here, maybe in the story, that is how maybe he uses his daughter, the bad guy, he uses his daughter to fool people, right? So people think it's a man, but really it's a woman. It's his daughter who's like the ultimate weapon. So what I'm getting at is that perhaps I should have actually, gone to... Actually, you know what? I'm going to do right now. Let me just do it real quick. I'm going to go on IMDb and see for myself here what the name of this actress is here. I know this is a little silly, but, I want to make this a little more of a conversation than anything to some degree. All right, so Black Widow. Let's find this actress who I said I may have seen her in other things before, I just don't recognize her. Here we go. Olga Kurilenko as Antonia. Okay, so I'm just going to copy paste her name here, and I'm going to type in, did she do her moves, kind of thing on Google. Did do her own stunts. Actually, I should write her own stunts in Black Widow. I'm sure a bunch of stuff will come up. Here we go. She reveals, this is from EW.com, Black Widow star Olga Kurilenko reveals she had multiple stunt doubles as Taskmaster, okay. Because the character exhibits countless different skills, the actress needed 3 of 4 stand-ins. All right. So what I want to know, were the stand-ins male or female? That makes a difference, and I'll tell you why. Because to me, obviously, I noted, they're pushing a feminist tone, and that's fine. But to me, it's like, if you really want to push that, there are female stunt women with skills they could have hired to make it more believable that was a woman in the suit. So that just confuses me a little bit, I'm trying to read through. Okay, so they're not mentioning anything specific about the stunt doubles. But anyway, I might look it up after, or I might not, honestly. This movie's not that much of a big deal to me, for me to care. It was just a weird thing to watch. Plain and simple. Okay. I think I've said enough on that when it comes to confusion. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that really stands out. Well, I guess this would fall back into what I didn't like, but at the same time, I understand the effort in trying, but maybe they could have gone about it a different way. And that is how Black Widow managed to punch out the bad guy, right? Like, she knocked her olfactory nerve, right? And, like, she's, like, barely a hand away from him. And I just did not believe that in that split second, the pheromones or whatever, she wasn't affecting her, or whatever. Basically, I didn't believe that at all. Okay. Which leads into something else I'm going to just say I didn't like. And there was too many moments in this movie that was nonsensical in its portrayal that took me out. And I'm like, come on, this is Marvel. I know Marvel is a fantastical, it's based on comic books. It's fantastical in and of itself. But if you're going to try to base it in some realism for me to believe what's happening, you can't have Natasha tumble like 3 stories down, and not have barely a gash on her. That was the first thing that took me out of the film. And there were other moments that seemed just completely impossible for any human person to survive. And then, like they're showing her knock off that nerve real quick and then punch him out and straighten up her nose and all she's fine. Like, I don't know. If you know a lot about the human biology and if that was plausible, you're more than welcome to break it down for me in your comments, okay? All right. So I want to move on to the positive stuff because there are some stuff I really appreciated with this film. I really did. All right, so the first thing I actually really liked was the performances between Scarlett Johansson and what's her name? I know her last name is Pugh. Florence Pugh. Yes. Wow. I believe that these two actresses did such a fantastic job carrying the movie as co-leads, because I saw them as co-leads for sure. I know perhaps you could look at Florence's character as a supporting character, but she was so good and such on a level with Scarlett that I think kudos should be given to Scarlett for allowing an actress to kind of perhaps co-lead the movie with her, and maybe that was her intention, and I hope it was, because I think it's a very generous thing to do. You know, when you're the star of a film, it is called Black Widow based on Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow. It's not the norm for the star to be overshadowed by another star. But I think that Florence didn't necessarily overshadow her. She just complemented already what's kind of working between the two of them in a scene. And so, yes, I really, really enjoyed watching that. And the second thing that I think was commendable, that's the best word I can think of, commendable, was their attempts at bringing up Russian terms and phrases. I felt that regardless of the moments where their accent seemed kind of pitiful, in my opinion, basically I caught on to moments where they sounded a little bit American. But the point that I'm trying to get at is I do appreciate that there were many instances that they had the actors speak in Russian. And I can only presume that is to just make it very clear that that is a part of their heritage. They could have easily just had them talk a little bit of Russian at the beginning of the movie and then talk English throughout the rest of the movie, right? So, yes, I think they should be commended for that. And the last thing that I will remember from this movie is the beginning. The beginning credits with that interesting spin or that interesting rendition of Nirvana's Smells Like Teen Spirit song. Wow, I got chills watching that because that whole montage of the Black Widow process was really something to watch. And I know if I were to go like frame for frame, shot by shot, it would disturb me even more. And considering the nature of this film and, the Disney brand and Marvel brand, I think that was one of the most tasteful ways to show the horror of that process or of that life. So without a doubt, it made an impression on me, and it's definitely one of the moments from this movie that will stick in my little mind. So let me know, of course, in the comments, what were your thoughts about this movie on your first watch? What are moments that you loved about the movie? What moments did you not like? And give me some of your top 3 moments from the film that you appreciated if you can find them for yourself. So there you have it. That is my reaction to the MCU's Black Widow movie. So until my next movie watch and review, I'm Asha, tuning out.
Thanks for watching. Check out my other videos and subscribe. You know you wanna.